Good morning, YouTube. Today is Tuesday, June 18th, and today we officially start the 60-day countdown to all these fun real estate changes. Good morning, Tom and Anthony.
Good morning.
Morning, host.
How's everyone doing today? Anthony, I was talking to you yesterday. I think a microburst hit outside your house as the pole floaties went everywhere. How are we doing in the North Hills today?
We're doing good, man. A lot of people have power out, man. Mine's not out. If it was, I'm still special because I have that generator. Mm-hmm. So I'm good to go there. But tree fell on the neighbor's fence. And this guy got the worst luck in the world, man, when it comes to trees. Trees keep falling in his backyard like they're supposed to. It's like,
you must have carpenter ants in there or something.
I don't know. They're the neighbor's tree. And again, if a tree falls on your property and it's not your tree, it's your responsibility. So it's very unfortunate.
Really?
Yeah. I actually had to call my insurance guy just to verify.
I thought it would be on the other homeowner that their tree fell.
You can't cut the tree down if it's not on your property, but if it falls on your property, it's your responsibility. Tell me that's not a crock.
That's wild.
That'd be a fist fight with me and my neighbor.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're going to have to claim it on your insurance, and then your premium's going to go up. He's going to be sitting fat and happy over there watching the guys cut it up.
Dang. Thomas, how are you? Congratulations on the big U.S. Open victory.
Yeah, we got to love it, BDC, baby. We called that one last week, so I hope you all were listening to the podcast. So you got your picks in and you're rich.
Yeah, that was a nice one. Congratulations. But
thank you.
Good weekend, hot week, I guess it is. So everyone, when I was a kid, this would have been an ozone action day. Don't tap off the tank, right? Somehow putting that little extra click on the gas was like the worst thing you could ever do for the atmosphere. Never really understood that one, but hey, just let the gas go. You don't need that extra 5 cents today. Ozone action day.
No comment, but it is hot. It is hot as hell here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think it's hot everywhere this week. But hey, it's almost summer. Don't forget, not summer yet.
Not summer yet. 3 more days. But they were calling it a heat dome, and the hottest heat dome in the last 30 years, supposedly.
I saw the heat dome. Very weird that all these new meteorology tools and facts have popped up out of nowhere. We got more terms now than I've ever heard of.
I feel you can't listen to the meteorologist anymore. Sorry if any are out there listening right now, but they said severe T-bangers last night at my house and it barely rained. So seems to be they don't know what they're talking about.
Well,
Joe DiNardo was the one and only guy that I'd ever listened to. Moon famous.
That's true. But getting into this, the talk this week and probably the talk the next couple weeks is the 60-day countdown here to any changes that are coming in the real estate industry. If you're buying or selling a house, you may already see it because it's slowly moving in and transitioning in. But the new rules don't go into effect officially until middle of August. So we're going to be here trying to give our 2 cents along the way. How to help buyers, how to help buyer agents through this process. We're not for listers. We're not for the sellers. We want the buyers to be able to understand what's going on and how to help their pockets. We all know everyone listing, they all got that equity. They got crazy amount of equity. We can't let them be too greedy in this process. We need to make sure the buyers get their fair share, but we also know that it's not quite the buyer's market out there. So sellers kind of rule supreme at this point. And that's something you have to take with a grain of salt. But if you've been living under a rock and you haven't heard of any of this, maybe you just decided you were going to buy a house. Since the dinosaurs roamed, I think is when this all started. Commission has always been paid by the seller for both buyers and sellers in a real estate transaction. The seller paid the buyer broker. They decided the listing agent would decide to split a portion of their commission with the buyer broker. So as Anth said, as we all have heard, prices of homes have always included the full commission for buyers and sellers. I don't know if that was widely known by the public, but that's how it's always been. Now, all these new lawsuits, all these settlements, everything is going to be changing when it comes to commission. Sellers are still allowed to pay commission for the buyer's broker if they want to, but the decoupling of commissions is what the law and the government really wants. They want the buyer to pay their agent. They want the seller to pay their agent and keep everything moving. The problem is that sounds great on paper. So does communism. But when you get to the numbers of it all, it may not make sense for buyers. Buyers, as we know, as loan officers working with buyers to try to qualify them every day, the average person, especially in this economy, may not have the extra funds laying around to pay their agent's commission, though we understand buyers' agents are very important and they deserve to get paid. So we got to figure this out. And we got to figure out how we help out the buyers. Hopefully the sellers still pay, but we don't know if that's going to happen. I got to imagine there's going to be plenty of sellers out there that say, no, we're not going to pay any of the buyer's commission. So if that happens, we got to be prepared. We got to be planned. We got to work with our agents and our buyers to know that they're putting that best offer in.
100%. I think those sellers that are not putting that commission in there are going to ultimately get less buyers looking at their house and less pull of people. I still feel it would be beneficial to add it in there and just let the people know that it is in there. But like you said, people are greedy. People want all the money to themselves. They don't feel that they need to pay commissions when selling their house. So that's exactly what they do. They don't offer it to the buyer, and it is going to create a big stress and a big holdup for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, good, bad, or ugly. It doesn't matter if you've been in the business 30 years or you've been in the business 30 days. No one knows how the public's going to react to all the changes. No one knows if sellers will continue just to, they're happy with their bottom line, they will pay some commission. No one knows if you don't offer any commission to the buyer, if you'll have less showings. I mean, there's plenty of ways for buyers to find a house.
Yeah, 100%. I think too, when you're selling the house and listing it too, just letting your seller know, how many buyer closing costs there already are on their side, to let them know that it, add another 10,000, whatever it may be in commission, might not be in the cards because of all the costs that they already have to pay. I mean, it's already a drastic number more than the seller has to pay on their closing side. So I think that education is very important.
Yeah, I mean, Anthony, you can throw your 2 cents in too. I think not offering commission, if it's even known, right, that's still a big question. Will the public be able to see if the seller's paying commission or not, or do you have to get in negotiations to find that out? We don't even really know that question yet. But if it is known to the public, I think it will drop the showings. But with the market, you don't need 20 offers. You only need one. So will that affect sellers? I don't know yet.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, the one thing that could happen, and I know it's been talked about, is, if somebody's not going to show a property, I mean, a lot of the times the buyer's usually seeing the property before anybody else, online or what have you, with all these, sites that they have available to them at the click of their phone, but in the same token, if the buyer's not going to get shown the property for any reason, what's stopping them from just going straight to the listing agent and saying, right, hey, I'll work with you, but this is what I want. I think there's going to have to be a lot more conversation with the clients up front as far as what the commissions would be and how that's going to affect them on the financing end.
I mean, it seems like every offer is going to be its own cup of tea right now. Like before you put in an offer, agents kind of went over the process and it was going to be the same process no matter what house you put an offer on. Where now, you may say, hey, this is a normal offer. This is how it's going to work. You don't get that one accepted. You go to a new one. Hey, now things have to change up. Here's how we have to do this. You know, are you going to pay some of the commission? Are we going to ask for it? I mean, hey, if sellers stop paying real estate commission, I better start seeing drops in prices. Because if I was told all these years that the price included commission, if they're not paying commission, that's just greedy at that point. And then ask for it in seller assistance. Then get it in another way, put it in your offer, because sellers shouldn't just get to keep an extra 3% over this.
No, 100%. And I hear it all the time. Listing agents tell me, "Oh, I don't work with buyers. I don't work with buyers." I hope those listing agents are the ones that are going to be offering that 3% buyer commission, because they keep telling me they don't work with the buyer's side. But if they're not offering it, they're going to have to.
And me personally, again, the beautiful thing of a free market is the market will figure itself out. It's not that real estate agents are going anywhere or they're not needed anymore. They're probably needed more than ever with 14, 17, 20-page contracts. But the market will figure itself out. But the way I think about it is, if you have a listing that shows 0 to the buyer's side, the buyer's agent roles may just change. Maybe a buyer's agent doesn't show up to write that offer until the buyer's more serious. You know, maybe the listing agent has to show that house 200 times because their seller doesn't want to pay any buyer commission. So it's their job to show it. Anytime a buyer wants to see it, you better set up your tent in the front yard, listing agent, because everyone that calls, you're going to need to let them in, because a buyer's agent is being told that they're not being paid a commission unless their buyer can pay it on this transaction. So maybe the buyer's agent role changes a little bit. Maybe listing agents have to show the property more often. This is the whole thing. I don't think anyone knows what's going to happen, but we want to make sure buyers are here to understand what their rights are, what they can do to keep their costs down. Because like Tom said, I don't think every buyer out there has an extra X amount of thousand of dollars to put towards commission and still be able to afford their house in this economy.
Yeah. I mean, certain people have it. So, you know, they have the funds to do it. And certainly they have been doing it over the course of the last 2 years on a multiple offer, paying the commission already. It's already been happening.
For sure. Since COVID, Tom, I mean,
yeah.
When COVID started happening and we had appraisal gap differences, I mean, if you talked to me and said, hey, would someone in Pittsburgh pay a $30,000 appraisal gap to still get the house, I would say no chance. No chance someone would do that. And we saw it in COVID every day. So there's absolutely a faction of the public that this won't affect. Maybe they'll lower their down payment. Maybe they'll just say, hey, this is the cost of doing business. But for the average Joe, I don't know if...
I would say 75% of the population is that average Joe.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, so we definitely want to be out there letting everyone know what they can do. And hey, if we need to offer seller assistance on every deal, we will. If you need to show your value, I think part of your value is the team you work with. If you can show great financing, title, inspection, all those great partners, that's going to show that you can make this process even stronger. But we will continue with this talk for the next 60 days. We don't have to get it all out of the way today, but good start to the mini series, and we'll keep this rolling into Friday. You guys got anything to finish up? Your old man is muted, so we'll get him to figure that out.
Stay cool, guys. Stay cool.
Beautiful. All right, Thomas. Talk to you later.
Peace out.